Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Thursday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. I have been anticipating drinking this beer ever since I picked it up yesterday. Because if you guys don't know, you guys hear me talk about this brewery whenever I'm bringing up breweries like Drecker, RAR, and all that kind of stuff when it comes to the pinnacle of almost what fruited sours and fruited blender Weisses have kind of transformed into as of the last couple of years. Because now, fruit sours, like farmhouse ales and all that kind of stuff, like almost barrel sours, when it comes to adding fruit to beers, it's been around for a minute. But just as the past few years, there's been kind of a trend to where they're adding very, very heavily amounts of fruit into their sours. And these guys were, I don't want to say these guys were part of starting the trend almost, but these guys have beers that have really, really hard to find when it comes to getting your hands on this stuff. They have a really, really big social media following when it comes to beer trading groups on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've been looking forward to try something from this brewery for a long, long time now. And today we got the Jungle Juice, the SLUSHY XL Jungle Juice from 450 North Brewing Company. I am so stoked to try this one, just because from the amounts of things I've seen when people looking on Instagram, seeing people do pours on this stuff has heavily amounts of fruit. They come in 3 stages. They have so let's say there's 3 different variants of this Jungle Juice. They have the regular Jungle Juice, which is fruited sour. Then they have that SLUSHY XL, which is they're adding more fruit. And then they have the SLUSHY, I think it's a triple XL, the way they use a lot of amounts of fruit in there. So depending on how much fruit you want and how thick you want your beer to be, you can get whether variant you want. So I got the regular XL, so there's gonna be a good amount of fruit in this one. So I'm excited, just because this is a sour ale, smoothie sour ale with passion fruit, coconut, mango, kiwi, and pineapple. That sounds fantastic. That just sounds like jungle juice in your face. I'm expecting a lot of tropical fruit flavors in this one. I like the can art to this one. I don't know, it has a nice kind of. Plus, if you notice, 450 North kind of has a little bit of a cannabis kind of theme to a lot of their stuff. I don't know why, but okay, so one of your local shops has the whole entire SLUSHY XL line. Yeah, if you can get your hands on that stuff, Kevin, just do it. This stuff I've heard really, really good things about, so if you can get your hands on this stuff, I would go ahead and do it. But I'm super excited to try this one out, so let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose. Oh yeah, loads of pineapple on the nose. Definitely getting you just tropical fruit in your face. A little bit of the mango coming through. I'm expecting with all the tropical fruits in there, it's going to have a nice kind of thick, almost orangish kind of color. I don't want to say it's going to be similar to how you would look at a little bit of a hazier IPA when it comes to color, but this is going to be heavily fruited, really, really thick. And this just smells absolutely fantastic. The pineapple coming through, the mango coming through. A little bit of that kiwi's coming through on the nose too, which is really, really nice. Yeah, this smells absolutely fantastic. So, I'm going to be drinking this out of my Whiskey Hill little tulip glass this afternoon. Let's see how this guy pours. Alright, you guys can see right off the bat how thick these beers are. Definitely a little bit ahead. When it comes to fruited, a heavy fruited sour like this, the carbonation is a little bit different. It's more of a heavy bubbles kind of situation. You can see, just this is a thick with 3 C's kind of boy. But yeah, loving the fruited notes coming through already. Still getting loads of pineapple, the kiwi, the mango. I want to see if the coconut kind of plays in it. I don't know if they might just add a little bit of coconut in there, just kind of help overall make a really good tropical fruit experience. But I don't think the coconut is going to be something to where it's going to be a noticeable flavor in this one. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but this guy comes in a 5.3% ABV. So yeah, this is definitely something I would consider sessionable. Having it be so heavily fruited, it's just going to be something that reminds you of sitting outside in a warm summer day, maybe sitting on a beach somewhere, who knows. But let's give this guy a try and see what this thing's all about. So, cheers everybody. Happy Thursday. Yep, as I expected, absolutely fantastic. All you just get hit with is there is literally no flavor in this that reminds you of your everyday go-to. If you're going to a liquor store, or kind of a mainstream kind of beer, this has no resemblance to any kind of beer like that. Because most of the flavor you're just getting is fruit There is a nice tartness in there, possibly from a little bit of the pineapple, maybe a little bit of some other stuff in there. I think the passion fruit adds a little bit of tartness as well, but when you take your first sip, you just get slapped in the face with just loads and loads of tropical fruit flavor. It's pretty much a jungle juice practically. There's nothing around it when it comes to what they're trying to imitate. This is absolutely fantastic. And you could see, kind of, if you look at the glass a little bit, you can see a lot of that, like almost like a film on the glass. That's all the fruit in there. That's from the puree and all that. But yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. A little bit of tartness. For like a tartness scale, I'd probably give it out of 5, maybe a 2. 2 out of 5 for tartness. You're getting the natural tartness. It's not like a barrel-aged sour or like where you're getting like a wine, almost kind of dry tartness from it. So yeah, the flavors in there are explosive. There's almost like kind of a flavor in there that kind of reminds me of like a gummy kind of note in there. It's like the aftertaste after you've had a couple sips of it and you're having those lingering flavors on your mouth. There's almost like a gummy kind of flavor that sits in there. I don't know if they did anything with that. Maybe it could be like just all those fruits in there. Maybe it could be the kiwi. I don't know, but I think they absolutely did a fantastic job with this one. Outstanding. And tell a little story of how I was able to pick this one up. So I've heard through the grapevine, just because 450 North is out of Indiana, that they do get some places around my area that gets distributed to them. So heard from a buddy of mine that through the grapevine that there's this one spot near me that's literally on my way home from work that has some of the stuff in stock. So I was like, you know what, I'm on my way home from work, I'm going to be driving past that place anyway. So I stopped there and looked at it. They had 3 different kinds from that slushy line. I know they had the jungle juice, they had a unicorn one, and then they had a peach rings one. So this one caught my attention because it was the last 4-pack of this one there. So I was like, this one has to be a really popular one if there's only one left. So I grabbed this one. And I'm going to give you guys a fair warning. It isn't cheap. Distribution for these ones they're a little bit hefty. You're going to be spending somewhere between like 30 to 28 bucks for a 4-pack. But when it comes to how rare this stuff is and kind of having the drops be, I want to say weekly, I guess you can say. When it comes to the more rare stuff, they do weekly drops, but it's lower quantities. But they still have specific beers available for distribution. So I was lucky enough to get my hands on this one. I definitely want to go back there after I have a little bit more money and try out the unicorn one and the peach rings one, just because I want to see what those ones kind of do with it. But yeah, the flavors in this one are explosive. The amount of hype behind this brewery and their beers, I finally understand it. I really, really do, because I'm a really, really big fan of breweries that comes to, yeah, so it's $25.99, so you're getting around like 26 to 33 bucks around there. I'd say it just depends on where you are and what liquor taxes and all that kind of stuff are, depending on what state you're in. But the hype is real around this stuff. I'm going to be completely honest. I would put these, you hear me talk about when it comes to breweries that make this kind of style of beer, when it comes to Hoosier Brewing Company. Now, I've had 450 North, so of course I've named them as this kind of style that has really made this kind of style of beer popular. And of course you have Drecker, which that local liquor store I went to had a bunch of Drecker stuff that I've never seen before, so I would love to go back there and look at that stuff. But then you got 903, you got their RAR. There's so many breweries that are kind of experimenting with this kind of style of beer and kind of making it unique in its own way. And I guess you could say 450 North was kind of at the front runner, like the beginning of that. They've been around for years. I'm so happy to finally be getting my hands on some of their stuff. Knowing that I have a spot now where I can get my hands on beers from them makes me super, super excited. So expect more reviews coming from 450 North on this channel. And with all that being said, let's look over at Untapped, and we can go through descriptions, similar beers, all that kind of fun stuff. So let's look here. Looking on Untapped, let's look at the similar beers list and see what we can find, anything that may be similar to this one, just in case if you can't get your hands on anything from 450 North. Of course, they have their SLUSHY XL on here, which I kind of want to try this one. They're showing for similar beers. They have the SLUSHY XL Sour Worms, which sounds delicious. We got one here from Great Notion Brewing, which you guys have seen me talk about Great Notion all the time, called Bicycle Day. This one, let's see. Oh, that one's really green. Mixed berry, stone fruit, citrus. Okay, that one looks delicious. We got one from Drecker called the Jolly Perts. And it's the blue raz kind of slushy sour. So that one, I don't know if I put that in similar with this one. But let's see. We got one here from Tripping Animals called Limonada de Mango, which is a 6% kind of fruited blender-wise fruited sour. I think this was probably on the top of the list for something similar. And then we got one here from Jackass Brewing Company. I love the name of that. But these guys are out of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. And this one is called the Big Sexy. It's a strawberry mango, little fruited sour, 4.2%. But I feel like that's going to be more of a kettle sour. So I think most likely I'm going to be picking this this Limonada de Mango from their Limonada series from Tripping Animals. Tripping Animals is out of Florida, and they're doing a lot of cool like fruited sour stuff down there as well. So if you can get your hands on this one, you'll most likely have a pretty similar experience when it comes to this one from 450 North, because there's tropical fruit, of course, a little bit of like citrusy kind of notes. Sometimes tropical fruits have a little bit like hints of citrus in it. So it's overall going to be a nice, refreshing, hopefully pretty, looks from looking at the pictures of this one from Tripping Animals, looks like it's a pretty thick guy. So of course you're going to have the heavy mouth feel when it comes to the amount of fruit in there. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Limonada de Mango for that one. You're going to get the tropical fruit, your little citrus, thick mouth feel. It's probably going to be, I don't want to say it's going to be identical, but it's going to be pretty damn close. And let's see here. Let's see what the description of this guy is. So it says here on the descriptions, we took our regular jungle juice slushy and amped it up with more fruit, creating this XL version, conditioned on passion fruit, kiwi, coconut, mango, and pineapple. So when a brewery says conditioned on, so when you're making your beer, of course, you guys hear me talk about you have to boil it and then move it over to the fermenter, where you add the yeast, and that's where your kind of your beers and the alcohol is being created. But when they say conditioned, a lot of the times that I see when they mean that is when they're moving it over to the bright tank to carbonate it. And they're doing that, that's when they add more amounts of fruit and all that kind of stuff, because you don't want to add the fruit in there while it's in the fermenter, just because that gives the opportunity for the yeast to start working more, and you kind of mess with your pH levels and kind of play with how your ABV is going to be. When you put it in the bright tank, and when you're carbing it, you'll still have control of it, but you'll still be able to help make this really hefty, thick mouthfeel, heavily fruited flavor, kind of fruited sour slash fruited blender-wise. So that's kind of my little explanation of it. But let's see here. Like I said, it's a 5.3% ABV. And looking here with over 2,041 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.26 out of 5, which to me is absolutely phenomenal. That's a pretty damn good rating. I haven't seen a lot of haven't really looked down the rabbit hole a little bit and see what a lot of the stuff from 450 North gets for ratings on Untapped. But knowing that I can get my hands on their stuff now, of course, I'm going to start looking at it a lot more, just kind of see. Let's look at the sour worms and see. So yeah, the sour worms, you look at that one, that has an average of a 4.25. So we're seeing pretty high averages when it comes to some of the stuff we're seeing from them already. And of course, looking here for verified locations that carry 450 North, we got a couple ones. So yeah, this is the one I went to. So the place I went to pick this place up, if you're in the northwest suburbs, it's called Barrel and Craft, which I think that might be the spot I went to. It's on Barrington Road. I don't know if that's maybe I think this is it, most likely. Yeah, this is definitely the one this is the one I recognize. Yep. So the liquor store I went to is called Barrel and Craft, and it's a really, really nice spot. It's kind of a hole in the wall, but their selection on the inside is really, really nice. And there's other locations. Let's see, you got the Global Brew Tap House, where you can get your hands on some stuff. So some good locations around the northwest suburbs of Illinois. Looking like you can see some stuff in Wisconsin. So of course, when it comes to Total Wine up there, well, let's see what else we got here. There's a couple other places that carry this stuff within the northwest suburbs of Illinois and all that kind of stuff. So, but let's see what else here. There's some places in West Springfield, Massachusetts, and Dumont, New Jersey, that they're saying are popular locations for this beer. So if you're in any of those areas, you may be able to get your hands on stuff from them. But let's look here at my friends list and see if we had anybody check this one in. It doesn't look like we did. But let's look at the global ratings and see what other people had to say about this guy. So this person gave it a 4.25. Actually, I want more of this in my face hole right now. Oh, that's good. So we got 4.25. Let's see, we got a 3.25 saying coconut bomb and not beer. Overpriced fermented juice. Okay. First of all, don't say it's not beer. I'm gonna be straight up honest. The same methods are being used for this and for making any other kind of beer. From start to probably 3/4 of the way, it's the same method of making any kind of beer. So they're adding fruit during the carb process when they're adding the bright tank. I don't say it's overpriced fermented juice. But yeah, I don't really taste a lot of coconut in this one also. And he gave it a 3.25. Purchased at Jeff's Spirits on Main, which is in West Bend, Wisconsin. So I don't agree with this guy's chicken at all. Let's see what we got here. We got a 4.25 from here saying, oh yeah, I like this one. Hit the spot. We got a 4.5. Another 4.25 saying nice and fruity. We got a 3.5 here. We got a 4.5 here. Purchased at the Hop Asylum, which is in Brentwood, California. What else we got? We got a 4. We got a 4.5. Let's see. We got a 4.25 saying super smoothie and sweet and tasty. 100% agree with her on that one. So we got another 4.5 here purchased at the Grant Street Cafe, which is in Dumont, New Jersey. And let's look at 2 more here. So we got another 4.5, and then we got a 4.25 here purchased at Norwood Cappies, which is in Norwood, Ohio. Okay, so a lot of high check-ins except for that one kind of curmudgeon little guy that obviously doesn't really know how to make beer and saying it's a coconut bomb when it's not, and it's calling it overpriced fermented juice, which I 100% do not agree. But yeah, that could possibly be it, face meat. But so yeah, overall ratings on this one on Untapped is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really proud to see that their stuff is still getting some pretty high recognition. But with all that being said, let's start looking at what we're going to be doing on our end over here for ratings. Let me pour the rest of it in there, and let's look at can art, because 450 North really has some unique can art. They have, of course, their unique logo, and looking at some of the stuff that they do in here, they kind of always stick to a theme when it comes to whatever beer's coming out with. So with this one, kind of reminds you of like a jungle juice kind of slushy. So of course they're explaining that it's going to be a slushy style sour ale. And of course you got the 450 North logo, and then you kind of have a tropical kind of feel when it comes to palm trees, slices of pineapple. Of course they have it like a jungle kind of out theme because it's called jungle juice. And then you got the Slushy XL, which is the token of what kind of variant of the beer you're getting. So you'll have the triple XL, the regular XL, or just the regular jungle juice. So no, I like the font and everything. I like the colors. So overall, this is something that definitely appeals to me just because it's vibrant. Has really, really kind of nice and clean, classy almost, because it's not going anywhere too crazy where it's just they're not taking advantage of space. They took advantage of all the label when it comes to how they're going to market it. So yeah, I think they did a really, really good job on how they marketed this one. So I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5 for can art. I like it. And let's see here. Since 450 North Brewing has a location when it comes to, let's see where it, okay, since we opened our brick, so they have a location around Columbus, Ohio, which is very, very interesting. So I wonder, actually, let's look in the can. I swear it said it was brewed in Indiana. Yeah, okay, Columbus, Indiana, not Columbus, Ohio. So they're in Columbus, Indiana. So they do have a tap house and everything over there where they serve food, which is really, really nice. So you could go over there, have one of their fruited sours, and get some cans to go. They have where you can get food, so it's really, really nice kind of location. They have other stuff besides just fruited sours and all that kind of stuff. They have IPAs. Let's see what else, but a lot of the slushy stuff. They got some lagers. They got some Kolsch, an Irish Red, an Amber Ale. So a bunch of variety when it comes to stuff available. But yeah, really, really cool website. I would definitely love to get myself over there and try out some of their stuff at the tap room, just because the website's really nice. The beer is fantastic. So I would definitely love to try some other stuff from them, and that's definitely going to be happening here in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. But let's see, if I got this beer in a flight at 450 North Brewing Company, would I get another one? Do I even need to say? Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to get a flight of just all their slushy XLs or the triple XLs and just kind of go through and see what's my favorite. But if I had this one, this would definitely be one that I would get another of, just because I love the tropical fruit flavor. I love the thick mouthfeel. And overall, it's just a really, really nice and balanced fruited sour. So I think 450 North did an absolutely fantastic job with this one. So with that being said, I think I'm going to give this one a very, very solid for a final rating. Probably, I'm going to give it a 9. Just 9 out of 10. If you get your hands on this SLUSHY XL Jungle Juice, do yourself a favor, get one. It's absolutely fantastic, delicious, and just something you will not be disappointed in, unless you're not a guy that likes fruited sours or something that's heavily fruited. But other than that, yeah, this one is a fantastic brew from them. I definitely want to try some more from them, so keep an eye out for that. But other than that, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live to another review. But of course, if you guys want to support me on my other platforms that I'm on, you can give me a follow on Instagram, where you'll see what I'm going to be doing when it comes to my reviews. I do daily pretty much hand checks whenever I'm off of work, or you'll see some shenanigans of what I'm doing at work. But of course, let's see if you can shoot me a friend request on Untapped. You guys heard me talk about Untapped plenty of times before. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. It's really, really fun. You can check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff like that. It's just a really, really cool platform over there. So if you haven't shot me a friend request yet and you're on there, link to my profile is down in the description below. And also, if you want to support me, where you can give me a little bit extra coin and possibly have the opportunity to win yourself some beer from me, you can join my Patreon as well. I do monthly craft beer giveaways when it comes to 4-packs. And they're exclusively Illinois craft beers, so you can get your hands on some picked out by me beer every month. I do a drawing probably around the beginning of the next month, and then it'll eventually go out whenever I have the time. So I know we just got somebody in here who got last month's 4-pack winner, Mr. Kevin K. I think that stuff's sitting in his fridge right now. So if you want the opportunity to support me, give me an extra coin to possibly keep on doing this stuff, and then possibly have the opportunity to win yourself some craft beer, you can join my Patreon. There's multiple tiers to join. Plus, I have a bunch of other stuff that I hopefully have planned on doing over there when it comes to getting glassware, koozies, coasters, all that kind of stuff, shirts, if anybody's interested in that. Of course, I plan on starting like a craft beer Discord down the road, so keep an eye out for that. So if you join the Patreon, you'll get updated whenever I start working on some stuff. So if you want to support me that way, link to my Patreon is down in the description below as well. But other than that, that is what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat. You guys are awesome. And I'm going to end it like I always end it before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.